Welcome back to the Love Drive podcast. My name is Shaun Galanos. I am your host. I am a love coach. I am very, very excited to be back. Gosh, where do I start? Okay. 12 years ago, I was driving a taxi in San Francisco. And driving a taxi is kind of fun until it gets really boring. And my friend said, hey, you should record your conversations with your passengers. And so I did. I put cameras, lights, microphones in the taxi, and I called it the Love Drive. And I interviewed my passengers about sex, love, and dating. That is where the name The Love Drive came from, and this idea started back in 2014. Since then, I've been doing some version of like love coaching. I got certified as a coach at the Concordia University in Montreal. I have a background in communication, in sexual education, in rape crisis counseling, and along the years, I have hosted groups, retreats, I've taught courses, I've coached individuals and couples on all things love. And why? Why do I do this? I think I've always had sort of like a bottomless well of passion for love, sex, relationships, and dating. I also think that I've actually kind of struggled quite a bit in this department my whole life. And so anything that can be a challenge or a struggle can also become a strength if you give enough attention to it. And so that's who I am, and that's why I'm doing this thing. The Love Drive was a podcast. It was a podcast that I stopped several years ago, and then I started a new podcast with the angry therapist, John Kim. And then now I'm relaunching the podcast. Why? Because I love having conversations with interesting people about sex, love, and dating. Some of these conversations are going to be with experts. Some of them are going to be with just like regular people, couples, singles, folks kind of going through it. And then some of these conversations are just going to be me, are just going to be like musings on love. Okay, hold on. Let me read you the description of the podcast because I wrote this down and I think it's important because I want you to know, what is this podcast? Okay, The Love Drive is a no-nonsense podcast. It's funny, no nonsense. There will be nonsense, but the advice that I give is often no nonsense. It's not sugar-coated. So it's a no-nonsense podcast on sex, love, relationships, and dating for hopeful romantics, love cynics, and everyone navigating modern connections, hosted by me, Shaun Galanos, your local love coach. Okay. Hopeful romantics. I don't like the term hopeless romantic. Why can't we have a little bit of hope? Why are we hopeless if we are romantic? Just because we're struggling or things aren't going our way or it feels like we're sort of like beating our head against the wall, it doesn't mean that we're hopeless. It just means that like things are sometimes harder for some of us than others. There are those people that have just like a fairy tale romance, love affair, relationship, and I'm like so happy for those people. That has not really been my experience. And if it hasn't been your experience, then maybe you can find a home here as well. Okay, love cynics. What does that mean? People who are like kind of beaten down by love, who are a little cynical, but yet still yearn. Like your heart still yearns to be seen, to be known by another. You still feel desiring of connection, of another, of like, of skin, of love, of connection. Like you're cynical because you've kind of been through the ringer, but you still yearn, right? And then anybody who's just like navigating what some people might describe as the dumpster fire that is modern dating or modern relating. I don't think it's a dumpster fire. I think that we are all wounded inner children coming to the table with pain and hurt and stories, and we are doing our best. And some of us are doing way better than others, and some of us are struggling way more than others, depending on where you are in your life. But we are inner children who are yearning for connection and love and to be seen and to be known and to be heard and to play and to connect. I also wrote here something else. I wrote, I aim to create a space for raw, radically honest conversations about desire, sexuality, and intimacy, and what it takes to build lasting relationships. I hope to bring vulnerability, humor, and curiosity to even the most taboo topics. And also that perhaps this podcast becomes an antidote or an alternative to the toxic red pill culture, the like toxic masculinity manosphere podcast bro thing that's happening out there, where I can maybe bring a voice that models emotional intelligence, healthy masculinity, and playful banter. Not saying that I am a healthy version of masculinity. Like I have blind spots, I struggle, I am working on stuff, I have zones of development that I am currently working on. But perhaps this serves as an alternative to what is out there. The Love Drive podcast, I want it to be like multi format. I want to have, yes, guest interviews, experts, thought leaders, but also conversations with regular people, with friends, with couples, with folks who are kind of going through it. I want feel good stories. I want Q&A where you share with me your questions. I do love Q&A. I'm sort of a big Q&A freak. And then also solo episodes where I sort of check in, share with you what's going on with me. Maybe we look at like love in the news, love, sex, and dating in the news. I don't think I'll ever be like, hey, let me recap what happened on Love is Blind. I don't think that's ever really going to be my strength, but maybe it is. Who knows? Anyways, if you're here for multi varietal segments on sex, love, and dating, then you're in the right place. I also want the Love Drive to be a place where we can talk about life, not just love, but ultimately like life is love and love is life. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but I think that deep down inside you agree that it's all kind of love. Yeah. I mean, basically this show doesn't exist without you. So I need your questions. I need your concerns, your comments, your feedback, your criticism. I need it all, and I want it in a voicemail. So you can leave me a voicemail at 415-494-9559. That's 415-494-9559. You could leave a voicemail. You can leave a text message. You can email me at podcast@thelovedrive.com. You can record a voice memo and send it to that same email. You can send me a love letter, a hate letter. You can send me whatever you want at either podcast@thelovedrive.com or by leaving me a voicemail at 415-494-9559. Okay, if you're listening on Spotify or watching on Spotify or YouTube, please leave a comment. I love comments. I read all of them. It helps me understand what's landing for you. If you're enjoying the show, then leave a review wherever you listen. It really makes a huge difference. But please leave comments. I love comments. I love reading them. It's like my dirty little secret. It's like a tasty little snack. It's a little dopamine morsel. And I thank you for all of your comments. Okay, what else? I mean, that's it. I'm pumped. I don't know if I'm over caffeinated, but I'm also very, very, very excited to be back. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm also a little scared. I'm a little scared. And I think that it's good to be scared. I think that fear, unless it's a saber-toothed tiger, which for the most part in our culture, it's not, there's something worth exploring when there is fear, right? Like fear can sometimes, unless we're talking about like keeping yourself safe, like legitimately safe from like attack or harm, fear is interesting because it might illustrate where there's like juice, where there's like something at stake, where there's risk. And I'll be honest with you, I'm feeling a little scared. And I think that it's worth it for me to explore that fear, but also to walk through it. So I am feeling a little trepidation about relaunching the podcast. For some reason, I feel like the stakes are higher than they were a couple of years ago. I don't know why. I'm happy to explore that along the way. I'm happy to explore a lot of stuff. So while there's fear, there's also genuine like glee and excitement. Like I'm legitimately gleeful at relaunching this podcast. I also want to thank you. If you're a longtime listener, first time caller, thank you for your continued support. If you're new here and someone was like, hey, you should check out this podcast, welcome. You're super, super welcome here. I'm excited for what hopefully we will build together. Like, I know that sounds kind of weird. Like, Shaun, we're not building this together, but like, legitimately, yes. Right? Like, without you, what is this? Nothing. It's just me talking. But with you, we can maybe create the kind of podcast that like feels good, that is helpful, that helps to demystify and stigmify. I don't think that's a word, but anyways, we'll go with it. You know what I'm trying to say. Love, sexuality, intimacy, emotional availability, vulnerability, all that stuff. The juicy, juicy, juicy stuff that makes up love and relationships. The reality is, like, oh, I'm going to share with you what the reality is. We are built for connection. We're built for community. We're built for closeness. And sometimes that shit is not easy. Oftentimes it's not that easy. I would like for this to be a space for us to explore all of that together. So thank you for being here. You mean the world to me. I know that sounds weird to say, but you do mean the world to me. Your support, your feedback, your presence, it's all very, very welcome. I'm also so pumped to announce that our first guest interview is with none other than Dan Savage, American author, advice columnist, podcast host, and someone that I've been a huge, huge fan of for decades. In fact, I used to call myself the younger, straighter Dan Savage, and he got a kick out of that. We talk about why people are going crazy for heated rivalry, why more straight men should hook up with dudes just to have the experience, how my mom found out that I downloaded Grindr, and the importance of reciprocity in sexual relationships. This is an incredible interview. I'm so, so, so grateful for his presence and his wisdom. And that airs on Thursday. So enjoy. Thank you and have a beautiful week.